I was experiencing symptoms like heart palpitations, mood swings, and various other signs and symptoms, and I had no idea what was going on with me. I even went to my OBGYN, and I still didn't get all the answers I needed until I started to research myself. Hi, I'm Dr. Stephanie Young Moss. I'm the founder of Menopause in Color, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about my transition into menopause. Now, I haven't shared my entire story in recordings. I have on podcasts, but I want to talk to you today about how I found out that I was actually menopausal and had been going through perimenopause for several years before even actually knowing what was going on. For those of you who don't know me, I am a pharmacist and a menopause educator, and I actually took an interest in perimenopause and menopause because I was having signs and symptoms of something and no one could really help me figure out what it was. So around the time in my late 30s, right after my second, and which was my last child, I had signs and symptoms, the first one being heart palpitations. So my heart was beating really fast and I had no idea what was going on. So that is the first thing that actually took me to my doctor. And I actually went to my OBGYN because that was the appointment that I had coming up. And she did the right thing. She sent me to the cardiologist. Of course, I was afraid, didn't know what was going on. And it wasn't heart palpitations to the point where I could not function, but it was enough that it was scaring me when I would feel these rapid heartbeats. So I went to the cardiologist, had all the tests done, had an EKG. I even believe I had a stress test as well. And once I did that, everything came back, no findings. Everything was normal. However, what did not happen was I did not discuss it further with my OBGYN of what it could be. So if everything on my tests are coming back normal as far as my heart, then what else could it be? But no one talked about, hey, this is a sign of perimenopause, possibly menopause. Let's see what we can do. Let's talk about solutions. Even if it wasn't about going on any type of therapy or medication, what are some of the things that you can do? And not even that, what is causing this? So after I experienced heart palpitations, I started seeing things like mood swings. My cycle would change. Some days I would have, some months I would have a cycle. Then other months I would have nothing at all. Or I would have a really heavy flow, and then some months it would be really light. So with that, I started looking into what could this all possibly be. And after doing further research, to my surprise, perimenopause came up. Now, I'm a healthcare professional and I've studied women's health in pharmacy school, all the drugs, vitamins, supplements that go along with it, disease states. We study all of those things to be able to treat different diseases and conditions in women. However, when it comes to women's health, I do believe, as with every other healthcare professional, that we don't study perimenopause, especially enough. So I end up doing more research, finding all of these different signs and symptoms that had to be perimenopause, and I realized that's what I was going through. So I went back to my healthcare professional, and at this time, I probably was done having kids. I think the talk about having kids, we weren't discussing that anymore. So I talked to my OBGYN, and we kind of discussed, could this possibly be perimenopause? I actually brought that up to her. And I believe her answer was, you know what, it could be. You are young, like you're younger than me, and I'm not going through it. Which I hear a lot of people saying that they're getting that response from their healthcare professionals. You're younger than me, or you're too young to be experiencing perimenopause and menopause. But as we know, some women, especially women of color, actually go into perimenopause earlier and sometimes will have more symptoms than other races. So it's important that you try and educate yourself. And also, if your healthcare professional is not getting you the answers that you need, then try and get a second opinion. Now, I love my healthcare professional. I love my OBGYN. She delivered both of my kids. And now she is focused a lot more on menopause and perimenopause. She doesn't even deliver babies anymore. And she has all the knowledge in the world. But at that time, I think that we were both really unsure of what was going on because people weren't talking about perimenopause and menopause. Even healthcare professionals really weren't focusing on it at this time, which was over 10 years ago. So I did some more research. talked about what some options that we could do. I did things like try and change my diet. I added in supplements that I figured I was deficient in after having some of my blood work done, like my vitamin D, magnesium. And a lot of people don't know that vitamin D, actually, if you have a deficiency and you're not getting enough vitamin D, it will actually make your menopause symptoms worse, or your perimenopause symptoms worse. So if you're having things like hot flashes, or if you're having insomnia and those types of things, if you have a deficiency in this vitamin D, it will actually exacerbate or make those symptoms look worse. So I optimized those things first. I made sure that I was getting all of my nutrients, whether it was through supplementation from a pill, or even increasing things in my diet that had more vitamin D and more magnesium in it as well, and also increasing my omega-3 fish oil supplements too. So I did start to take those as well. And don't get me wrong, I would take those things throughout my life. However, during this time, it was really important for me to add those things back in because I wasn't consistent with those supplementations. So that did help me, actually. As I went further on into perimenopause and my estrogen levels started to drop more, we made a collective decision for me to actually be put on hormone therapy. So I did start with that, and that was actually just a couple of years ago. And I did not even get tested, actually my hormones levels tested, till about a year and a half or 2 years ago is when I really just wanted to know what my levels were. Now there is some controversy with this because some people believe that you don't have to have testing, and then some people say you do. Now if you are of a certain age and you know your medical history, a lot of times if you're having certain signs and symptoms, a knowledgeable healthcare professional will let you know, hey, this is probably perimenopause. Here are some of your options. This is what you can do. You don't necessarily have to have testing because I know that you're in perimenopause. But if you are questioning whether you are and you're not getting answers, you can make a decision to get your levels checked. But the thing is, your levels will change throughout the month. So it's important to know when to take those tests. And sometimes you may have to have a couple of tests as well in order to know those levels. But your healthcare professional, if they know your history, they know your signs and symptoms, they should be able to let you know if you are in perimenopause or not, if you still have your cycle. Now, if you have not had your cycle for 12 months and 1 day, that is considered to be the actual definition of menopause, not having a cycle for 12 months and 1 day. But anything before that, if you're having signs and symptoms, that means that your levels, your hormone levels are fluctuating and you're in what's called perimenopause. And that just means around the time of menopause and just before menopause and going into that menopausal transition. Once I had my testing done, my test results actually came back that I was officially in menopause. Now here's the catch. I did not officially know because I did not have a cycle, because I had had an ablation, which stops your cycle because my cycles were so heavy. So I did not know I was in menopause because I didn't have a cycle anyway. So that's one of the main reasons why I chose to have the hormone testing done, because I couldn't tell by my cycles. So when I took that test and I got those results back, it said that I was actually in menopause. I was actually shocked because I had not I had gone all this time with all these signs and symptoms. I had gone through perimenopause and then had entered into menopause and didn't even realize it. So I was able to, there was a period of time between late 30s and mid 40s is where it was really experienced a lot of symptoms. And perimenopause is actually the most symptomatic time during that menopause transition. Because your levels are fluctuating so much, you will have more symptoms. It may be your hot flashes, your night sweats, insomnia, brain fog. It could be cold flashes. It could be things like itchy skin, dry and itchy skin. Some people have vaginal dryness. Some people have different body odors, whether it is from their underarm or other places as well, because bacteria will increase in certain places. So there are so many signs and symptoms that people don't even realize is perimenopause and menopause. Even my cholesterol was increasing because estrogen receptors are all over the body that we don't realize how many things it actually affects. So my cholesterol was actually increasing as well. And then once I decided to be on hormone therapy, my cholesterol levels actually went down. My skin improved, my heart palpitations went away. All of those things started to improve once I did decide that I wanted to be on hormone therapy. Now, the thing with hormone therapy, that is really an individual choice for you to make with your healthcare professional. You know your history. You know how bad your symptoms are. If you can manage and cope with your symptoms with just vitamins and supplementations, then that would be my suggestion, to go that route, for a while. And then if you decide that you may want to do hormone therapy because you want to, because your symptoms that you can't handle your symptoms, or they're really, really bad, then it's best for you to talk to your healthcare professional about what options will be best for you, because everyone can't take hormone therapy. And then there are people who think they can't take hormone therapy who actually can take it as well. So talk to your healthcare professionals about what you can do to sort of help with your symptoms and alleviate some of those symptoms and help you, especially if you're experiencing very bad symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. So that's where I am now. I still take my vitamins and supplements. I am on a hormone therapy patch. And then I also take progesterone, because that protects your uterus if you still have a uterus. But now I'm coping and I'm thriving and I am living life. And that is my story about my transition into menopause. It took for me to have to go back as a healthcare professional to study and research and look at all of the different studies and different things that were out there and different evidence that's coming out, that to be able to diagnose myself with perimenopause, and then from there go into menopause. But it's important that you educate yourself, watch videos, read, talk to your healthcare professional. Make sure you have the right healthcare professional that's giving you the right answers and that's listening to you, so that if you are experiencing really bad symptoms, you can get relief. And that at least, whether it's lifestyle changes that you decide to make, whether it's vitamins and supplements you decide to take, or whether if you decide to do hormone therapy, that choice should be yours, that you make with your informed decisions from you and your healthcare provider. So I look forward to continuing to educate you guys on different things that you can do to help, whether you choose an all natural route or whether you decide to do hormone therapy. Please stay tuned and go through my old videos, look at some of the things that I talk about, and we can continue on this journey together. I want to make sure you have a place to talk, a place to learn, and that's why I created Menopause in Color. We have a Facebook page that's free. We have a community that we talk through in the private Facebook group, where we're able to share things that we're going through and ways that we can help. And then also, of course, I have this YouTube channel. So make sure that you share and subscribe, and also give me tips of things that you want to hear and that you want to talk about, because I want to make sure that you're informed and you're able to get the help that you need. So once again, this is Dr. Stephanie Young Moss talking to you today about my perimenopause and menopause journey. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Have a great day.